We are set to go at Minute Maid Park. Game 3 of this 3-game set. The Astros winners of the first. The Tigers picked up last night's game. And Mike Fiers set to go with pitch number 1 this afternoon. The Astros start play at 4-8 on the season. These Tigers are 7-3, just a half game back of Chicago and Kansas City. And pitch number 2 hit in the air to center field. Jake Marisnick's out there today. He glides back to make the play, and out number 1. For the Detroit Tigers, we've seen Ian Kinsler at the plate. Justin Upton follows, and then Miguel Cabrera. Middle 3, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, former Astro, and Nick Castellanos. And the bottom 3, Jared Saltalamacchia had a big home run last night. Anthony Gose and Jose Iglesias. As Justin Upton comes to the plate. Upton hitting .261, does have a home run, and has driven in just a pair of runs for the Tigers. Fiers finds the strike zone. Fiers has made a couple of previous career starts against these Tigers. No one-loss record against Detroit. Good ERA at 1.84 against the Tigers. Curveball chopped to third. Valbuena with the backhand play, and out number 2.
There's a good look at Mike Fiers making his 3rd start. See that ERA getting up there a little bit. Roughed up on that road trip. 11 starts with the Astros. Got a .500 record, 3.29 ERA. Also has that no-hitter under his belt last year for the Houston Astros right here in Minute Maid Park.
Of course, Fiers acquired in that trade with outfielder Carlos Gomez from the Brewers. The Astros gave up 4 prospects in the deal on to Milwaukee. With 2 outs, Miguel Cabrera will stand in and take a strike. Cabrera came into the series not swinging a hot bat, picked up 3 hits in last night's Tigers win. Watches one bend low, a ball and a strike. Mike Fiers made his major league debut in 2011. Now 31 years of age. Falls behind in the count 2-1. Make that 30 years of age. He'll turn 31 later in the year. Came up with the Brewers in 11. And then came to the Astros last year, pitched in 10 games, 9 as a starter for Houston, and went just 2-1 despite good numbers. 3.32 ERA with the Astros. Maybe a changeup that floats in. Cabrera has appeared to be in take mode the entire at bat here, but he is one of those guys, it doesn't matter how many strikes are on him. Simply one of the game's best.
Whoa. How do you hold that?
When's the last time you saw a major league hitter go after a pitch that got away and then fire it at the ball boy?
Fired it past the ball boy. I think he.
Yeah, the fans may not understand some of the humor between Cabrera and somebody in the bench on the bench for the Astros right there. Ball back to the screen. Count stays filled.
These guys are having the time of their life.
It's game 3. It's getaway day for the Tigers. Game number 13 for the Houston Astros. Hit to center field. Marisnick coming on. He gets those great jumps, has the speed, and makes the play. A 1-2-3 first turned in by Mike Fiers. Astros coming to the plate. Scoreless ball game. Here's the Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. And for the 4-8 Houston Astros, Jose Altuve, followed by George Springer, who got hot last night, Colby Rasmus, Tyler White, who now leads the team in home runs with 4. He's in the cleanup spot. Evan Gattis and Luis Valbuena follow. Bottom 3, Marwin Gonzalez getting up in one of the occasional starts. Eric Kratz behind the dish, and Jake Marisnick in center.
Anibal Sanchez is on the mound for the Detroit Tigers. He's got himself a good career. Made 2 starts so far this season. 2-0 with that 3.38. This kid comes at you. Fastball, slider, cutter, curveball, changeup. Pretty much throw all of them for a strike at any moment in the count. But if he is on, it could make for a long afternoon.
We had a nice conversation with Anibal Sanchez yesterday and asked him to say his name, and he says Anibal. So we will go with that. As his first pitch misses, 1 ball and no strikes.
Oh, we're going to hear about that, Ash.
Oh, it'll come across. That's a fact. Well, the one thing that was said is the people who call him Annabelle are not correct. Drive to right at the wall. Another opposite field home run. Jose Altuve. He has done it again and put the Astros on top right here in the first inning. 1-0 Houston.
Is it me or did it even look like he was? Just flipped it out there. Little man's got some pop, and he's looking out at Miguel Cabrera right now saying, I see you.
Do you see me? That's number 4 for Altuve. Ties Tyler White for the team leadership. And again, second opposite field home run for Altuve on the season, and just the first 2 of his career. Well, that's just simply impressive.
It really is.
351 feet on that home run. All you need going to right field. Ball hit on the ground up the middle. Base hit George Springer. And he is starting to pick up this type of base hit. And what a great sign that would be for the club.
Look at a pitch in the MD Anderson strike zone. Outside, go with it. And Altuve, good stroke. And again, I just feel like he flipped it out there. The thing travels at least 71 Altuve's out to right field. JD Martinez thought he had more room to go too.
That's going to surprise you down on the field, but that's kind of what Jose Altuve is turning into a little bit right now, though he has hit a couple of cloud jobs to left field already. Well, that's the makeup of his 4 home runs on the season. And again, only Tyler White on the Astros has that many. Colby Rasmus has 3 home runs.
A good look at that Supermo swing brought to you by Mattress Firm. Barreled it up nicely. Yeah, just gets out there and clips it. Good balance on that swing too.
The Astros had led in home runs on the season up until yesterday. Baltimore has taken over in that category. They start today with 23 home runs as a club. The Astros 17, so number 18 for the Stros, hit by Jose Altuve. Seattle is the next club on that list, so maybe a little different look from the Seattle Mariners this year.
Yeah, especially in that ballpark. But they did crush early when they were in Arlington playing against the Rangers.
Yeah, that's a difference maker right there. Rasmus takes high. 2 balls and a strike. Anibal Sanchez has a no-hitter on his career. 2-0 on his season. Beat the Pirates his last outing. And now has a 3-1 count. Sanchez making his 10th career start against Houston. Has a 4-1 record, so he's had good success against the Astros, a 3.05 ERA. Colby starts the bat, holds it back, draws the walk. That'll move Springer into second base. Still nobody out. And brings up the cleanup man, Tyler White.
Those first innings have been good for the Houston Astros. On this homestand, they've done extremely well. Yesterday, 3 runs scored in that first inning. As good as that is, they'd like to see them extend those scoring streaks throughout the latter innings, too. Take them when you can get them, though.
Yeah, the bats have simply gone quiet after those early outbursts. Part of what the Astros have done offensively is the running game. But the Yankees have caught the Astros in stolen bases at 11. Tyler White with his 4 home runs, .395 batting average. And gets ahead in the count. Sanchez has started 4 games right here at Minute Maid Park, has a 1-1 mark. Good numbers, though, a .309 ERA here. And 2-0 the count. In the American League West, where the Astros reside, Texas on top. They're 7-6. Nobody has gotten off to a fast start. Texas, the Angels, Seattle, but all right around that 500 mark. Body flying open for Tyler on the 2-0. The roof is closed here this afternoon. Good swing. Count evens at 2-2.
I think Tyler was waiting for that straight one. That pitch before might have been the cutter at 88 miles an hour.
For the Astros, they start the day hitting .240. That's 8th in the league.
That is letting it go.
Popped up. Easy in foul territory. Miggy's there. And out number 1.
Our Astros power players are presented by your local steel dealers. Flashback to May 24th, 2015. Evan Gattis actually going against the grain, going down to get that one to drive it out off Anibal Sanchez. Preston Tucker got in on the action. I believe that was his 2nd home run in that series. But that was an electric game. That game, Anibal Sanchez gave up 7 earned runs, and the Astros ended up winning that game 10-8.
Gray Unis brought on the pinch hit dingers for Preston Tucker. Evan Gattis stands in. Falls behind with a big cut. Evan hitting .125. Just getting back in the swing of things. Sanchez brings it and misses in. Evan Gattis recently completing 4 games of a rehab assignment at AA Corpus Christi and hit a cool .400 during that rehab. 6 for 15. A couple of home runs mixed in. Hits it in the air right field. JD Martinez is there. He'll make the catch. Tagging at second is Springer and moving to third, but 2 outs. Runners at first and third for Luis Valbuena.
Again, issues with the Astros hitting with runners in scoring position. Saw that Tyler White was leading the American League. But that has been a real issue on this homestand for the Houston Astros with runners in scoring position, because they've done a great job getting the walks, getting the base hits, to get those base runners on. Just finishing the inning off by driving in some runs.
Valbuena stands in, hitting .182. Yet to homer on the season, and just 3 RBIs. Sanchez finds the plate. 0-1 the count. Marwin Gonzalez getting a start today is on deck. Ball and a strike. With runners in scoring position, the Astros hitting 196 coming into play. With runners in scoring position and 2 outs, that figure drops to 125. So that is certainly an area that has been troublesome.
It's still early in the season.
Yep.
They can break out of that, and I'm sure they will. And I think the American League West for the Astros, I mean, that's just going to be a season-long just battle for these guys, just beating up on each other. So
Can you
no
see
reason
that
to
just
panic.
kind of rolling around in that division?
I really do. And for much of the American League, too, what it feels like. The Central is tough. The East is tough. American League has some really good ball clubs in it right now.
2-2 count. Foul down the left side. The Astros start play today with 46 runs scored. That in 12 games, 60 runs allowed. So I think you can probably look at both sides of that.
Yep.
The runners in scoring position obviously hurting the runs scored. But on the pitching side, they've had their problems. Team ERA at 4.93 now, so that has been improving greatly, especially with that 1-0 shutout that Dallas Keuchel turned in along with Luke Gregerson.
And again, last year, everything worked out right for the Astros. When the offense wasn't going good, the pitching picked them up. When the pitching failed a little bit, the offense stepped it up. Now it's, you know, pitching and hitting are kind of scuffling a little bit here to start out the season.
That 4.93 team ERA, 15th in the league, so dead last. But moving in the right direction, you have to point out. And for Colin McHugh yesterday, though the numbers didn't wind up great, it felt like he really battled and pitched better than the numbers.
Yeah, just that one pitch to Saltalamacchia that he hit out.
Pitch gets away from the catcher, Saltalamacchia, up against the screen. Springer scores, makes it 2-0, and into second base is Colby Rasmus.
One way to get the runners in. That was a slider just yanked into the dirt. Saltalamacchia gives it his best effort, but really no shot. It went all the way back to the backstop. And I think one of the more interesting numbers for me with Anibal Sanchez is coming into this game, he had 6 walks and already has 1 on the day, making it 7 and 11 1/3 innings on the season.
He gets Valbuena in the end. With that wild pitch combined with the home run by Jose Altuve, and the Astros take a 2-0 lead. Equipment. Tigers and Astros closing out this 3-game series in Houston. Tomorrow's an off day for the Astros, and then on to Arlington, 3 against the tough Texas Rangers. And then the Astros come right back home for 3. The Boston Red Sox. Yeah, Boston Red Sox will come in for 3 before the Astros take off for a week out to the West Coast, out to the Blum Coast.
I like it.
Here in the second inning, Victor Martinez leads it off, followed by J.D. Martinez and Nick Castellanos. 4, 5, and 6. Mike Fiers with a 1-2-3 first. That fastball at 88. And that's about that zone that Fiers rides in, 88 maybe to 90. That over the top delivery causes a lot of problems on the heater for hitters.
According to the numbers we get, Fiers is averaging 89.4 miles an hour on that fastball. So right at that range again.
Shift on in the infield. Victor Martinez, a switch hitter, batting left-handed. Only Luis Valbuena on that left side, so that means Marwin, the shortstop, moves to the right side. Good views for everybody. It's that high heater. Mike Fiers, a guy that just fits in beautifully with Brent Strom and his notion of pitching up on occasions.
He told those guys not to fear that, and I think the reason he does that is because, one, it changes the eye level of the hitter, but it's also some of these guys that can do it, like a Colin McHugh, Mike Fiers. They have good 12-6 breaking balls.
The 2-2 stays up.
Take that ball.
Ball with a lot of the bats around the major leagues these days has a bunch of pine tar on it. Victor Martinez has one of those bats, so good luck cleaning that ball off.
How disappointed are fans when they would get that baseball and it's covered in pine tar and mud,
all rubbed up by the umpires, and I thought I was going to get a new ball. Fiers with the play. He'll run it over a little more than halfway and get the out. He's retired the first 4 he's faced. We check in with Julia.
Thanks, guys. This Mike Fiers versus J.D. Martinez at bat, and all of these at bats coming up for these two will last a lot longer than just today's game. They are best friends. They played together at Nova Southeastern in college, but in the offseason, work out together, went on a cruise, were in a wedding together, lots of trips. And he threw his no-hitter last year on J.D. Martinez's birthday. But they have been talking smack all offseason, as they have for years, about these at bats. So get ready, guys.
We are ready. In fact, anytime you play the Tigers, just about every at bat you see, you better be ready for it. They can flat swing the bats. In fact, the Tigers start play today best in the league at .291 in terms of batting average. 3rd in the league in on base, 2nd in slugging. Led by Miguel Cabrera, but this guy not far behind. J.D. Martinez with a 2-1 count. J.D. Martinez named to the All-Star squad last year, has a little check swing. 2-2 the count. And that's the first time for J.D. getting on that All-Star team. But the hitter he has become probably says there are more to come. Fires a long look in. Working with Eric Kratz this afternoon. In fact, J.D. Martinez had such a good year last year that he was 15th in the All-Star voting, or make that the MVP voting rather. Down on strikes. Fiers gets him. First strikeout for Fiers, second out of the inning.
Good depth on that pitch. He really went after JD with that split finger changeup that he throws. See the bottom drop out of it. Might have been the slider that backed up a little bit.
I would say if that's a splitter, that's something he needs to throw more.
Yeah.
As a slider, it just didn't really take on the break other than downward. Breaking ball gets away. Facing Nick Castellanos. Castellanos hitting .368. A couple of home runs on his slate. Chops it foul. Castellanos had 3 hits and 5 at bats in last night's game, including a double. Drove in a run. Four hits here in the series. That shift moves to the left side of the infield now. A little half swing. Hitters having a tough time on Fiers right now.
It did not look like a comfortable check swing either. No, they have a tough time. We've talked plenty about Mike Fiers' funky delivery, leading with that glove first, really driving that front shoulder down, and then right behind it kind of catapults that ball out of that right hand.
Little bit of the look the Dodgers gave Mike Fiers last year. Hit into left center field, coming on Rasmus. Makes the play, a 1-2-3 second inning, 6 in a row retired by Fiers. The Astros with a 2-0 lead.
Tigers as we head into the bottom of the second inning. And Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score. Astros hitting through the lineup. The top third doing a great job, and you would kind of expect that from the Altuve, Springer, Correa mix. And then in the middle of the order, you've got Rasmus, Tyler White. But some of that production, 7, 8, 9, is where it's really been dropping off. You don't expect those guys to do a lot throughout the course of the season, but you need a little something.
So Marwin Gonzalez, Eric Kratz, and Jake Marisnick here in the second inning. Houston got on the board immediately as Jose Altuve launched one to right field, his 4th dinger of the year. George Springer picked up another base hit and wound up coming around to score eventually on a wild pitch. Marwin takes a strike. Anibal Sanchez, not long ago, was the ERA king in the American League, a .257 mark for these Tigers in 2013. And that year he was 4th in the Cy Young Award voting. Home plate umpire today, Rob Drake. Carlos Torres at first, Jerry Davis, the crew chief, at second, and Sam Holbrook is down at third. The infield fairly straight away. Marwin just gets a piece. In that year when Anibal Sanchez wound up fourth in the Cy Young voting, the winner that year was Max Scherzer, also of the Tigers, followed by Yu Darvish and Hisashi Iwakuma. Chris Sale was right behind, and Sale with the White Sox getting off to a pretty strong start. Line down the right field side, and a fair ball into the corner. Marwin digging for second base. And as the throw comes back in from J.D. Martinez, it's a leadoff double by Marwin Gonzalez.
Laser down that right field line.
And it was for Marwin, his first extra base hit of the season.
Got a base hit last night. Today he's got a slider that stays out over the middle of the plate. Marwin knows what to do with that.
He had a solid base hit into left field, batting right-handed last night. Now picturing up left-handed. And it's all kind of what Marwin can do for this club. But with the emergence of Tyler White, playing time has become scarce for Marwin. Eric Kratz at the plate.
Yeah, but I'm sure right now A.J. Hinch is understanding that if you swing in the bat good, you're going to find your way into that lineup. And luckily Marwin has enough gloves to be able to do that.
And there are holes right now, to be honest. Eric Kratz has been around. Yeah, you watch him behind the plate. He's good. He can handle it. That ball handled by Sanchez as he freezes the runner at second. Kratz is thrown out 1-3. And one of those unproductive outs without the runner being able to move up.
It's a pretty good play by Anibal.
With one out, the nine-hitter Jake Marisnick stands in. And everything we said about Marwin applies to Jake as well. Playing time hard to find for the moment.
So if Jake lays out 3 hits today, make AJ's job a little bit tougher.
And for those of us who have watched Jake when he has played in the past, one of the game's elite center fielders. There's just no question. Pitch comes inside.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you have to take into account how many defensive runs he saves.
Hit .236 last year, 9 home runs. He was within one of joining that club of double-digit dingers. Counted a ball and a strike on Jake Marisnick. Jake's now 25 years of age. Just turned 25 18 days ago. Marwin not one of those guys likely to run from second base. Marisnick originally drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays, a third rounder. Kind of hard to imagine that Jake could fall that far in the draft with his size and speed and instincts.
Yeah, he's got some tools. The defensive side is well taken care of. It's this aspect right here offensively. If he could find a way to hover around 275, he'd get a lot more playing time.
Got off to a good start with the bat last year. He fouls it back. Good swing. 1-2 the count. Went from Toronto on to the Marlins and then came to Houston. Sanchez not overly sharp here this afternoon as the game starts. Two Houston runs in the first. And again, Jose Altuve, opposite field dinger. Fourth home run of the season. 3-2 the count. Marisnick drove in 36 runs for the club last year. Also stole 24 bases, evidence of the speed he possesses.
Tell you what, when you haven't played in a while and you have an AB like Jake Marisnick is having right now, that's nice. You get to see a ton of pitches. You're laying off some tough ones, getting some swings in. Even though he's fouling them off, it still works towards that rhythm and that timing that you need when you're not playing every day.
And you know what, Blummer? In the 3 seasons now that Jake has been a part of the Astros, he's done okay. That batting average at 246, much better than the 178 he put up in a couple of seasons with Miami. A big bounce off the bag by Marwin at second. Strike 3 called inside corner. So Marisnick gets rung up for out number 2 and back to the top.
Entirely sure about this. We'll take a look at it. Might have been inside for some umpires, not this one, but a tough break.
And again, Rob Drake behind the plate. Yeah, it's one of those close pitches you hate to take. They'd get tied up, jammed, trying to swing at it. Jose Altuve with that first inning home run, now hitting .313, so he's kind of right where he plays the game.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Lowest batting average with runners in scoring position. This is not the one you want to be on. Houston Astros at 26 with that .196 with runners in scoring position. It's early, some limited opportunities, but you would like to see that number change rapidly.
That foul ball to the upper tank down the right field side.
And that goes to that number 1 for 16. And again, they've created the opportunities, just not capitalizing on them.
Intriguing number for Jose Altuve as he pops one up. RBI is not really matching the home runs. Play handled by Kinsler. That'll do it. So the Astros get the leadoff double and strand him at second. 2-0 Houston. It's presented by Echo Outdoor Power Equipment. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Lexus. The new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. We move to the third inning. Is that the third inning?
It's a couple of fossils hanging around.
That was way beyond the third inning in terms of back there, I think. Bottom three in the order for these Tigers. 6 up, 6 down is what Mike Fiers has been able to deal today. Jared Saltalamacchia at the plate. He had the big swing in last night's game. The Astros had a 1-run lead into the 6th inning. Saltalamacchia hit the foul pole down the right field side and took care of that. And takes care of the no-hit bid through a couple of innings. Solid base hit. Brings up Anthony Gose.
A reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. There goes the no-no.
I think both of us just dealt with that. So apparently both of us had that in mind.
Wouldn't mind seeing another one here.
Anthony Gose at the plate. Hitting .241. The speed draws in the third baseman Valbuena as Tyler White holds at the bag at first. Saltalamacchia, not one of those guys you would anticipate running, has not stolen a base this year. But then again, the Tigers don't run. They've tried to go 4 times. They've stolen 2 in those 4 attempts. But if there's news in that statement, it is that the Tigers are not in dead last place in stolen bases in the league.
With 2? Simply lower than that? It's got to be a tie.
Trying to see if it's a tie. It probably is a tie scenario. Rut-row is right.
What happened to the computer?
I don't know. We're just dancing all over the place now. 2 balls and a strike on Gose. Okay, now we've got it. So you're right. 3 teams: Baltimore, Chicago White Sox, and the Tigers, all with 2 stolen bases on the season. So all that talk back at spring training about we're going to be more aggressive this year.
Reality sets in.
Maybe not. Gose swings through it. A 2-2 count.
That just, for me, in watching teams face Mike Fiers, they are just picking up the ball extremely late out of the hand.
Something is unusual because when you're looking 88, 89 with fastballs up in the zone, you would think hitters would be all over it.
Zone, yeah.
But they don't get to his heater. Gose down on strikes, and again that high gas thrown by. Out number 1 in the 3rd inning, 2nd strikeout for Mike Fiers.
Fiers actually did a pretty good job of pitching backwards. Some off speed early in the count. But Gose really no chance to catch up the last 2 fastballs. Ball in the glove.
Bring the 9-hitter to the plate. Jose Iglesias. And you can see Iglesias, shortstop for the Tigers, off to a good start, hitting .333. Double play still out there to be had.
Iglesias had a couple of knocks last night and a walk. Stole that second base of the season for the Detroit Tigers.
He was 2 for 3 on the night. Scored the run. Got an on-base percentage right now at .444, so doing a nice job. Taking all the way, has a 1-1 count. You know, when Fiers is bringing a lot of those high fastballs, my thought is it might not be a bad idea to take and see if he can actually get it in the strike zone and get the called strikes. A lot of times with that high fastball pitcher, it's more about swings taken. Bat starts, but he holds it back. Iglesias 2 for 5 on the series. Lifetime against the Astros 8 for 24. That's a .333 mark. So that meshes very well with what he's doing against the league to start this season. Fires pawn at the hill. Two first-inning runs for the Astros have them on top 2-0. Line shot and gloved at third base by Valbuena, and that ball tried to find its way out of the glove.
Ball's ripped. Iglesias swinging a pretty good bat of late, squares this one up nicely. Just within reach of Luis Valbuena. Thankfully.
The Astros employ the shift once again now as Ian Kinsler comes to the plate.
I'm a big fan of the orange hat right now.
I am too.
It's a good looking uni.
That entire uni combination looks great out there.
Well, it's a little, throwback to your days there down the rib cages.
You get some of the rainbow on the side.
Beautiful.
I fully endorse your comments. Two outs. Hit on the ground left side. Tough play.
Oh
Marwin is able to glove it. I believe it looked like he started to come up to try to throw. Nobody had the ball eventually. And now we're going to hope that between Marwin Gonzalez and Jose Altuve, everything is functioning okay.
Marwin grabbing that throwing hand. We'll have to take it a replay to see what happened. This ball's ripped directly in between each of them. Both going after it.
Did they hit each other?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, Marwin's hand went underneath Altuve's leg. Ugh. Looks like a sack at midfield. Fumble. Just really hope that nothing is wrong with Marwin. And that's one thing that you really don't see that often, but when it does happen, it brings it to light, the shift situation also. These guys, when you put three ball players on one side of the infield, they're in pretty close proximity of each other, and all of these guys on the infield have great range. So that range factor is going to overlap. And this is what's going to happen sometimes when that ball's hit too hard to actually have enough time to communicate who's going to get the baseball.
Okay, so you hit on it. I was going to ask you, do you have any chance to verbally communicate on a ball like that?
I don't think in that situation you do, but in normal circumstances, if that ball had 2 or 3 hops on its way out there, you might have a chance. But in the moment, when that initial reaction to get to the baseball, there is not much time to communicate, let alone talk and then shut it down if you get called off.
And ideally, between the two, I would assume that the shortstop playing that ball would have the better shot than maybe the second baseman.
Then you got to figure out who has priority on that play.
Right. So 2 outs, 2 runners aboard, a couple of hits in the inning, and Justin Upton at the plate.
Great line now, come on.
You can see those guys are close, and they can range too. But this ball is just directly in between them. You see one and then the short hop. I tell you what, I am pretty thankful that Altuve went to the feet first slide as opposed to the dive.
Looked like Altuve also took that backside route to try to get himself out of the way, maybe.
And you know what's interesting too, in the outfield, I know that outfielders will talk about how they are going to go at balls in the gap, because we know that the Houston Astros have the luxury of having center fielders playing all over the outfield, so their range is going to overlap each other. But there is sometimes communication where the center fielder will cut in front, the corner outfielder will trail to the back, so that they avoid collisions like that. But that's something, that the next time I have a chance to talk to those guys, that might be the first question I give them.
Fastball finds the inside edge. You come out of spring training and you say, we think our team has a chance to win this year, but a lot's going to come down to injury. And then you watch a play like this in game 13 of the season, and you realize how quickly fortunes can turn.
Well, and you ask any championship ball club, what was the credit to your success this year? And every guy to a man, either the first or second thing they say is health. If they can stay healthy, usually those ball clubs do well.
You know, I can't hit upon it, but I was going to say, when's the last time you saw a team win their division, move into the postseason, and have a terrible year in terms of team physical health?
A lot of turnover.
It doesn't get mentioned a lot, maybe because it just simply doesn't happen.
I'm glad there's people for that. We'll have to let them know. How would you quantify that? Would you ask which team has won with the most roster moves? Or they actually can keep track of the days on the DL.
Roster moves don't always imply that you have injuries. It says that also that some players didn't perform, and that happens on all clubs. 3-2 the count. 2 runners aboard. They'll be on the move. Getting on deck, Miguel Cabrera, so you don't want to go any further. Runners go, and got him swinging. Upton swings right through it, and a big strikeout. Number 3 for Mike Fiers. Tigers get a couple of hits and strand him. We've played 2.5, 2-0 Houston.
Your Houston Rockets take on the Golden State Warriors Monday night in Game 2 of their first-round playoff series. Coverage begins at 8:30 with an hour Rockets pregame, followed by all-game action at 9:30. The Rockets pursue playoff victory Monday night at 8:30 right here on Root Sports. At 4-8 to start the season, A.J. Hinch is hoping his team can relax, not try to do too much, which is something these players talk about all the time. But he did say, you know, every player up there sees the numbers on the board. They're aware of how many at-bats they're at. That 100 at-bat mark is usually where it identifies where you are. When you get up to 40.
Springer slams one left center, and see ya. George Springer is a true bright spot right now. He is coming to life. Second hit on the afternoon, giving the Astros a 3-0 lead. Home run number 3 for Springer.
Second home run in as many days. 3 hits last night for George Springer. Swinging out hot bat, and that's one of those guys that A.J. Hinch was talking about that Julia was hinting at. He looks nice and relaxed now, smoking that ball out to left center field.
Julia, go ahead and finish that.
Yeah,
I was
please
going to let you have it.
Finish
Well, I know, maybe I'll get another one right here. AJ was trying to say that, you know, some of these guys maybe can breathe a little bit after they have a good game. George Springer being one of the guys we were talking about, but natural instinct for these guys is to do too much, maybe overswing, but recently they've been putting pressure on the teams. They just have to stay within their elements to be good. They know they can be good, so hopefully George Springer will keep that up, though, right?
Yeah, we certainly hope so, and he just did stay within his elements here at Minute Maid Park with that swing. Second home run in 2 games now for George. I don't know if you're looking around the Astros ball club, kind of the general lay of the land over the first couple of weeks. He is one of the guys that you have to most want to see get hot.
And I also feel that George is one of those guys, not only in the lineup, we know what his talents are, and that's why we want him to do so well, is because he has enough to ignite this team and get them going. But in the clubhouse for me, if he's not going good and gets a little down on himself, it affects those guys around him.
Caught looking is Colby Rasmus. You know, George is kind of that grandmaster a little bit, and
well, he has fun.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he is an enjoyable human being.
See what George did with that swing.
Man, he got himself a hanging fastball, and I mean, his legs, watch his lower half, kind of leaks out a little bit. But again, he is so absolutely strong that if he gets the right trajectory on this thing, it's not going to come down for a while. But his energy for me in the clubhouse is infectious.
Well, you can stretch it way beyond the clubhouse too. On the plane, anytime the guys are together, it's kind of George Springer leading things.
It's good to see him doing well too.
I haven't seen the dancing in the dugout lately, and maybe that's coming soon.
Could be.
Tyler White takes up an in. 2-0 the count.
But that tear we saw him get on a couple years ago in the Seattle-Kansas City road trip.
Haven't seen anything to compare.
If he keeps this up, it might rival it. Because, I mean, 2 hits today, 3 yesterday. I mean, that's 5 hits in 2 days.
Well, let's just say he's starting to enter that, that kind of play. He had one particular game, maybe back-to-back games in Kansas City that you're referencing 2 years ago, that he could have entered that 4 home run club with the type of swings and the way he hit the baseball. I think he wound up with only 1 home run, but
I thought he was going to knock the wall down.
One ball hit off the center
City.
field wall on a line drive, and it was frightening what he was able to come up with.
I think we would both agree that there was 1 base hit on a breaking ball. Might have been the hardest ball he hit the entire series, just a lousy base hit.
Lousy single to left field, and it was the most incredible swing you'll see a guy put on a baseball. We're in the 3rd inning, 3-0 Houston. A 3-2 count on Tyler White. And he's down on strikes. That's 4 now for Sanchez. 2 outs in the inning. Evan Gattis comes to the plate.
Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston, benefiting Houston Children's Charity. All-time rookie home run leaders, Carlos Correa, we saw it happen last year with those 22 bombs. Lance Berkman, makes perfect sense for him to be on there with 21. Glenn Davis, another good home run hitter in Astros lore, 20. And George Springer, don't forget about George Springer back there in 2014 with 20.
Yeah, I think we were projecting George at that time as a guy who could hit, 30 plus, and who knew what the high end might be.
At that point, I think I was saying more like 45 plus.
Again, and I'm just being really, really cautious with that statement, but needless to say, we wouldn't mind seeing that again.
There was an article, man, I want to say it was USA Today, but it was over the offseason leading into the season, and they were talking about the bygone era of the 30-30 guys, where there were several of them, during that steroid era that were, I'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll get to you. Got 3 strikeouts make it in the inning, but it all started with George Springer launching his 3rd of the year, 3-0 Houston.
Astros now, top of the 4th. And time to take a look at our Chevy Stroh poll. Make sure you get over to the Root Sports SW Twitter page to vote. Best Astros achievement in the last 2 seasons, Altuve breaking Biggio's hit record. Was it Fiers throwing the no-hitter or Keuchel's home dominance? Going undefeated right here at Minute Maid Park. Let's see what you got, guys.
Wow. Those are 3 tough ones to choose from. We go to the 4th inning, 3-0 Astros. Couple of dingers on the afternoon after getting shut out in that home run category last night. Miguel Cabrera has a 1-1 count. To be followed by Victor Martinez and J.D. Martinez. 3-4-5 for the Tigers. A lot of deep counts here this afternoon. Shift on for Cabrera, despite the fact that he's one of the game's best right field hitters. Just doesn't put it on the ground that often to the right side. On the ground to the left side. Here's the strong arm of Marwin Gonzalez. Not needed right here. And out number 1.
We alluded to the fact that Fiers is throwing a lot of fastballs. And here's the percentages. Tuesday 37.6%. Today 54.3%. It's kind of interesting because the Tigers can hit the fastball pretty well, but I think it's a credit to Brent Strom getting in the head of Mike Fiers, saying be aggressive with that fastball. These guys have a tough time picking it up, but it also sets up that curveball you're seeing at 13%. But also that split finger for me has looked pretty good today also. But establishing the fastball early allows you to get to that other stuff later in the count.
Victor Martinez at the plate, thumbs one and just out of the reach. That's Valbuena with that shift on just beyond him. 1-out single and hit number 3 for the Tigers. J.D. Martinez comes to the plate. Talked about that relationship between J.D. and Mike Fiers. Fiers 1 out in the 2nd inning, struck out Martinez. J.D. Martinez has put up great numbers the last couple of years. Ground ball off Fiers. Altuve to the bag onto first, and they won't get the double play. Had White picked it, looked like it was too late anyway. So it'll go 1-4 unassisted.
Job by Altuve getting out of that shift, and again you can see how far away Marwin Gonzalez was. Really, Altuve did a great job of getting the lead out. Made an attempt to get that 2nd out, but I agree with you. I think J.D. Martinez might have beaten that out, but a good job by Tyler White. Even though he didn't pick it, he kept it in front, didn't allow the base runner to advance.
Hung in there, no flinching at all. Over to first base with Nick Castellanos at the plate.
What's going on here?
I don't see a thing going on, but
Kratz saw something and stood out in front of home plate.
Game was starting to move along too quickly. We're going to go with that one.
TV time.
Highly unlikely.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm
anytime you can be on TV.
Likely on your side, yes. Game moving too quickly, not that likely.
That's over there.
Yeah. Your analysis always in play. Big shift on once again. Castellanos flied to left field in the second.
Ooh.
I don't know. Is that the splitter?
I think that was the split. That thing darted down big time. You can almost tell by the swing that Castellanos didn't recognize it either. See that grip? Man.
And it's falling back toward that right-hand hitter's side.
It was wiffle ball-ish. Pretty good pick by Kratz, too.
I like him behind the plate. He's been real good.
I'm just glad he survived that stumble on opening day here.
That was classic.
That was one of the best I've ever seen.
And then, like the true veteran he is, he spins it after the game and says, was it on purpose or not?
I say you left it out there. You decide.
Never a better slide on the Whammo slip and slide back in the
That's
day.
what it looked like.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. So down on strikes. Another strikeout picked up by Mike Fiers, his fourth of the afternoon as he gets Castellanos. 3-0 Stros lead it.
Astros on top of the Tigers 3-0. Save money and get the games with the best giveaways, including the Awards Series bobbleheads with the Astros 10-game Awards Series package. Visit astros.com/mini-plans or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to get yours today. Guys, with Anibal Sanchez coming in, making 9 starts before this one, had compiled 47 strikeouts prior to today against the Houston Astros. The Astros knew today was all about zone control, having to attack balls up and over the plate and capitalize on mistakes. They've done that so far, but A.J. Hinch also wanted this offense not to just get out to a good start like they did yesterday, but keep it going, keep tacking on. That's how you beat good teams, guys.
Thanks, Julia. Yeah, the Astros have had a hard time with that, continuing to tack on as the pop fly goes to make that Ian Kinsler. Out number 1.
I completely agree on that. They've gotten out to some great starts, scoring runs in first innings, but you want to see them continue what we like to call it as a picket fence. At least 1 run per inning. Just been kind of scarce here of late.
Marwin Gonzalez had a solid double down the right field side as he led off the second inning. The Astros had picked up that 2-0 lead. Tried to add to it, but Marwin got no further than second base. But then George Springer came around in the third inning, that leadoff home run. And it was a pretty good clout job to left center field. Marwin gets in front a bit.
Showing some quick hands.
Really shouldn't be able to pull a ball that far.
Oh, I took great pleasure in trying to do that every once in a while.
You foul that off and you know it winds up in your lips somewhere.
The fan definitely earns that foul ball.
1-1 the count. Good changeup.
Pitchers recognize it. I'm sure you've recognized it too. Catching, see a guy smash a fastball that quickly, that far foul, immediately come back with the off speed, slow things down a little bit.
You know, you try to play that game of where does it stand and what does it mean to you right now. Sometimes you lodge that stuff until a big moment a little later in the game. Sometimes
it's a good idea.
Line drive, base hit. Second of the day now for Marwin Gonzalez, double and a single. He's aboard with one out for Eric Kratz.
Good piece of hitting from Marwin. 2 strikes. Fastball away, keeps the barrel through the zone nicely. Just massages that one out to right field. It's good to see his bat get going too. Didn't get much playing time in the first 10 days of the season. He's got 3 hits in the last 3 at bats.
Kratz with a big swing. Look, we've all learned, but we all do the same thing every year. Marwin got off to a terrific spring training, and we knew he was ready to go, but you start playing sporadically and it's tough to get those numbers on the board.
And this is a different lineup than Marwin is used to working with. In the past, Marwin has used that glove and that bat to get in the lineup anywhere he can. This year, a little more of a solidified lineup for the Houston Astros.
Marwin can play all around the infield. We've seen him in left field. But the way things are going right now, Altuve is not going to get a day off.
No,
I don't see it coming. A rare one today for Carlos Correa. Has scuffled a bit with the bat recently. Kratz goes through. It's 0-2 the count.
Even the kids need breaks every once in a while. And interesting too, today's a day off for Carlos Correa. Tomorrow is a team day off, travel day.
So you try to get that back-to-back off kind of thing. What would you say for a guy like Carlos Correa, as young as he is, as strong as he is, what would be the ideal number of games you'd love to see him start this year?
Well, if I'm being selfish, I want to say 155, just because I want him in the lineup as much as he can. I don't think if he's swinging the bat well, he's not going to get days off, obviously. But he had, like you said, the last couple days a little bit tough, maybe dragging a little bit here early on in the season. But I mean, if he can play 150 plus games, I think that's a fantastic number for him to shoot for.
Is it fair to say the same number, whatever it is, applies to Altuve as well?
Altuve expects a lot more out of himself, and I'm sure soon Carlos Correa will expect the same out of himself. And Altuve expects nothing less than to play 162 games every year.
Fair enough. So you'd want to say 160 plus for Altuve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to get to that point where that's what Correa is all about as well.
Well, and take into account Correa, last year was Correa's first full season, and he went to the playoffs. I mean, that season for him went another month and a half longer than he's accustomed to. I'm not saying that has lingering effects or he's not young enough to battle through that, but I just think A.J. Hinch, he's a smart guy down there, and probably had a conversation with Correa saying, hey, this has nothing to do with who you are or who I expect you to be. I'm just going to give you the day off today.
Sometimes those conversations from a manager to the player have to kind of come with the understanding that the player's going to tell you more than a lot of times he really wants to play. He's going to say, I'm ready every day.
Well, yeah, so that's just natural instinct.
So you have to use some of that filter as a manager that's needed.
Well, they're heading into Texas. They're going to face a couple of left-handers in Cole Hamels, Martin Perez. So that's a big right-handed bat you want to have rested and ready to go in that series, too. Plus, it gives you a chance to get a guy like Marwin Gonzalez. So really, I mean, he's a nice addition to this ball club to be able to plug in at any given moment.
When you talk the running game for the Astros, Jose Altuve leads with 6 bags. In fact, he leads the big leagues. Correa has 2, and then 3 guys with 1. Marwin's on the move. This one is driven to center field. Ghost can get back with anybody as he gets there to make the play. 2 outs in the inning, and brings up the 9-hitter Jake Marisnick. Yeah, so it's really an intriguing conversation when you talk about what's ideal. You know, you get one of these day games where Carlos Correa is not in the lineup, and I'm sure a lot of people say, where's Correa? We need him in there every day. But yeah, that balancing of everything,
well, especially here at home too.
Yeah.
I mean, the home fans, this is their chance to see him in their home ballpark. They're probably disappointed, but at the same time, the timing of the situation maybe warrants it to have him take a rest.
Chopper back up the middle. Nice play, Iglesias to throw, not in time. There's the speed of Jake Marisnick as he beats it out. The throw goes from Miguel Cabrera into left field. Here comes Marwin to third. He's in there. Moving up into second, Marisnick. So it'll be an infield single and then likely an E3. That leaves runners at second and third.
Man. What a great play. Just turned into a complete yard sale with that throw from Miguel Cabrera. Jake Marisnick smells that hit. We know he has the wheels to beat it out, but Jose Iglesias is a fantastic shortstop. Made a great play on that. Marwin Gonzalez dancing around a little bit. Miguel Cabrera thought he'd take a chance. Spiked it into left field. Marwin, I thought, was a little dangerous here being aggressive, but sneaks in past the tag of Nick Castellanos.
That's funny that the footwork of Castellanos actually took him away from the bag, and that's what really cost the Tigers.
Well, I think everybody was a little shocked the ball was flying around the ballpark like that. Might have surprised Nick Castellanos.
Single and E3. Top of the order, Altuve comes to the plate in a big situation. Can you add to that 3-0 lead?
2 out RBIs have been tough to come by for the Houston Astros, but you got the right part of the lineup up.
Line drive, base hit. That scores one. Here comes Marisnick. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. 2-run single Altuve. And there's that game spreader. 5-0 Houston.
Speed, athleticism, and finally some timely hitting from the Houston Astros. And of course it's going to be Jose Altuve being aggressive on a fastball up in the zone. And I love the fact that Gary Pettis went ahead and sent speedy Jake Marisnick around third to force the issue with the defense. Pretty good route by Marisnick too.
Yeah, if that throw's right on line, you got to play at the plate. But Marisnick not only has the speed, he's a terrific athlete, and he'll find a way at the plate.
What shocks me about Marisnick, he's a legitimate 6'5".
Yeah, big guy.
Can run.
Yep. George Springer at the plate, another big guy having a day. 2 for 2, a single and a home run. That home run is third on the year. They're starting to come. Here's a number for you. George Springer has not hit a double this year.
Really? Alexis defensive rankings pop up right here. Good time for it. Justin Upton out there in left field. He's got that yellow light, means you can challenge him, and I think Gary Pettis, we know, will challenge with the Astros speed. Anthony Gose is very aggressive to the baseball, and JD Martinez has actually been turning it up here in recent years.
Springer with a big hack. 1-2 the count on George.
And I didn't have a chance to talk about it, but because Gaddis punched out that inning, but the 30-30 mark, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, and there was an article in USA Today, and they picked 2 guys off the Astros lineup that have the potential to do that. One of them's in the box right now. The other one is that Carlos Correa kid.
Those are the 2 I would pick. Pitching in the dirt, kicks away from Saltalamacchia. Not the best of blocking technique, and in the end, it's exactly what he gets. So now Altuve down at third base, still 2 outs.
That slider again. There was a wild pitch earlier from Anibal. Same pitch.
From the stretch. Ooh. Springer gets one up in the zone and fouls it off.
Can you name the last player to hit 30-30?
Huh.
There's actually 2 players in the same year. One in the American League, one in the National League.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good.
One plays in our division.
Mike Trout.
There you go.
Okay.
That was 2012.
Pitch fouled up. That's the year that Trout stole 50 or 51 bags, right?
I can 49.
49.
Good memory.
Okay. He's really cut down on that running game. I don't know if there's been any re-emphasis to employ that again. But
there was talk about it. I'm not. We have to see if that happens this year. But there was more talk about him being aggressive on the base pass. The other guy was Ryan Braun in the National League.
Ah, yes.
2012.
And Braun was probably MVP that season, right?
It was either 2011 or 2012. I know in 2011 he beat out Matt Kemp, who also was 30-30. He was one home run away. Matt Kemp was in 2011 from being 40-40.
2-2 once again. It's that changeup, and you can really see Sanchez slow the arm down on his changeup. Jake Marisnick makes some things happen, and I'll tell you what, he can make some things that sometimes don't get noticed, certainly don't get seen in the box score. Great catches in the outfield. We may get a peek of some of that kind of action coming up. Pitch comes right back over the plate. Springer takes strike 3, and that'll do it. But a big 2-out, 2-run hit by Jose Altuve. Who else? 5-0 Houston.
Jake Marisnick in the lineup, spicing things up. We know what he can do on defense, proving it right here with another highlight reel type catch. You're into UZRs. That's your man right there. He can range all over the place, fearless going into that green monster.
How do you not get hurt on that play against the monster?
He is that good, Ash.
You talked about his size, his speed combination, his aggressiveness, great attitude. He's a big part of that attitude when it gets rolling well for this club. 5-0 Houston. To the 5th inning we go. Bottom 3 in the order. Jared Saltalamacchia leads it off. And Mike Fiers treated to some offense here this afternoon. Saltalamacchia, of course, a switch hitter. Rams one to right field. This is going to take the shutout out. And now 5-1 as Saltalamacchia hits his 2nd home run in as many games.
Spend all day preparing for the top part of this lineup, and Saltalamacchia is mixing right into this Detroit Tigers slugging lineup. Second home run in 2 days. Swinging a nice stick, especially with McCann going down in that catcher's position for the Detroit Tigers. This is a nice little boost. Goes down and gets it.
Yeah, there was no doubt about it. So 5-1, Anthony Gose at the plate. Saltalamacchia topped out in 2012 with 25 dingers. That with the Boston Red Sox. That's number 102 on his career. Ball and a strike on the speedy Anthony Gose. He'll surprise you with power every once in a while.
Brad Ausmus is going to have some options out there in center field too when Cameron Maybin comes back. Gose a left-hander, Maybin a right-handed swing. Interesting to see how he manipulates that situation.
Gose originally drafted by the Phillies, second rounder in 08. He was traded briefly to the Houston Astros. That was part of that Roy Oswalt deal. Jonathan Villar came over, J. Happ, but then the Astros turned right around and traded him to the Blue Jays for Brett Wallace.
It's an interesting trade scenario. There's the Lexus outfield rankings for the Houston Astros. Jake Marisnick, obviously a red light. But again, the Astros have done a good job of accruing center fielders to play all of this outfield. But they are extremely aggressive in charging on base hits. And I'm actually thoroughly impressed with the velocity at which these guys throw also. Accuracy. Gary Pettis has been great for those guys too.
Multi-gold glove winner Gary Pettis. We check in with Julia again.
Guys, all this talk about Jake Marisnick, it's something that AJ was asked before the game. He said, I'm not doing a good enough job getting Jake into the lineup, and especially with Colby swinging it well, it's hard to get him in there, and Gomez has been pushing to get back on track. But today it was more about getting Jake in the lineup than it was taking Carlos Gomez out. He's trying to get Jake in there, feeling good, and we'll probably see him in that Texas series you guys were talking about.
And on Julia's point, to me, if you're managing, I think it's also difficult to get a guy out who's struggling and you're trying to help him gain confidence. You need him. George Springer, Carlos Gomez, get those bats going, and you start taking them out, and then you get grumbling on a club. And so I think it's a real tough roll of the dice for a skipper. Hot shot up the middle, base hit Iglesias, 1 for 2 on the day.
Probably the harder aspect of being a manager these days is trying to manage egos and manage personalities, and you know, and helping these guys understand I'm not doing it because I don't like you. I'm just doing it because I see you struggling. I want you to take a break, relax, have a stress-free afternoon, and we'll pick it up again later. That's all he's trying to do. And yet he's trying to give a guy like Jake Marisnick an opportunity too, and let him know that he's thinking about him.
Player a lot of time today perspective, manager long-term perspective. And so you rest a guy and you're thinking, well, I'm looking for the long term of this club, or you play another guy like Marisnick and it may be about that as well. Yeah, you want to win today's game. Every game counts.
And yeah, he wants everybody to be hot as can be. But he's just, you got to manipulate the roster a little bit to get these guys in there. It's, you know, Jake's not a slouch. He's one of those guys that you need to have swing the bat well, and having his timing out on defense, he brings something to the ball club.
Not often that a manager has every player on the team hitting 400. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would like to manage that ball club. Can't even do that on PlayStation. That's a video game console.
Thank you so much for the heads up.
I know you wanted to get on your Atari and start playing.
Ian Kinsler can be found in either game system. He's at the plate.
He's too young.
Yeah, for Atari, maybe so.
You raked on RBI baseball in Nintendo.
I don't even want to hear it right now. It brings up too many bad memories for me. So if we can get a little Atari going on our screen right now, it'd be great.
We could play some Pong.
0-2 the count on Kinsler. He is flied out and singled. Throw over. And if White is able to corral this throw, maybe glove land on Iglesias, they might get him.
Yeah, it looked like it. I think we can credit Iglesias for knocking that ball down. Quick pickoff. It looks like they might have had him. Just couldn't hold on.
Sometimes it's pitchers just trying to make too perfect of a throw down in there to the runner. And difficult on right-hand first basemen, to be sure.
I think he was still slapping the glove too because he knew he had him.
How much first base did you play?
A lot. A lot.
More challenging than the impression?
Oh man, by far. I've actually gotten that question quite a bit. And first base it's not an easy position to play. There is a lot going on over there. There's tough angles. But again, you're involved on pretty much every ground ball on the infield, and you've got to hold your ground on pickoffs.
Of course, and you were also primarily, to the vast extent, that other infielder counting on the first baseman to pick all your throws. Is there a load that comes with that?
Yeah, there's an expectation to pick everything, and it's a personal responsibility type thing too. I wanted to pick every ground ball because of what you just said. I have been on the other end where I've been thankful for a first baseman who had the ability to make my errors into outs. So I took a lot of pride in the fact that I tried to pick as many as I could.
Two-two.
Kitchen's closed.
Kinsler's got that kind of short spin swing. You almost can't get in there at times.
What's interesting about first base too is, I mean, your responsibilities on relays are all over the place too. I mean, it's tough to get behind the mound on that relay home if there's a runner in scoring position, base hit to center field.
You've got right and center.
Yeah.
Third baseman takes left field typically. Hammer to left. That's going to be a two-run job. And quickly the Tigers strike for 3 runs here in the inning, and they have closed the gap. It's 5-3 Houston.
Yeah, that was rather abrupt.
Number 4 on the year for Kinsler.
You hear talk about shutdown innings, and that's what you try and do after your team has put up a 2 spot. Astros last inning in that bottom of the 4th, and here in the top of the 5th. These Detroit Tigers are getting to Mike Fiers.
No doubt about it, shot. Didn't quite get up to the tracks, but no deduction. Justin Upton at the plate.
And you've still got to battle these next couple hitters too to get out of this thing.
Upton and Cabrera coming up. The 2 home runs today give the Tigers 16. Hot shot and handled by Valbuena. You know, we talk about him in that defense, but I'm not sure you can talk about him enough. He has been spectacular.
Kick off your weekends at Minute Maid Park every Friday night home game with the best fireworks show in town. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. And I agree completely on Luis Valbuena. He has been above and beyond solid for me.
Yeah, I think we both commented that maybe even a surprise how good he's been. There's Marisnick backing under it and makes the catch. That'll do it. But the Tigers get 3 big ones in the 5th inning and have made a game out of it. Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity.
It's going to be a lot of money donated, man. These guys hit a lot of homers.
Let's hope it makes the Houston Children's Charity very, very happy over the course of the season. This guy's going to add to it. Colby Rasmus at the plate. Has cooled off a bit, hitting .289. House of fire in New York as the season began.
I think he likes hitting up there in the Empire State, huh?
I think he's not afraid of the big lights, that's for sure. One ball and 2 strikes. Three home runs, 8 RBIs, and 9 walks. He's got an on-base percentage of .426 coming in. Big shift on. Castellanos, the third baseman, has to get worn out going back and forth from shallow right to third base.
I'm not sure I could play third base for Brad Ausmus.
You go into the manager's office, the door's always open, you know.
Yeah, I'd show him my driver's license and I'd be like, man, I can't be making that lap back and forth.
Colby had 2 home runs in the April 9 game at Milwaukee. That's right, it was Milwaukee where the home run started.
That was a big time bomb he hit to right field. Back of the bleachers in that second deck at Miller Park.
Hit his 3rd home run in game 1 against Kansas City, the Houston win. Royals came in and had that 4-game set, won the final 3. Part of the reason the Astros have to feel a need today to take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers.
Yeah, that would be their first series win of the season if they could win today.
Yankees for 3, Brewers for 3, 4 with Kansas City, and now 3 with these Tigers. And it doesn't get easier. Tomorrow's off, and then 3 with the Texas Rangers. Colby Rasmus draws one of those walks. His 2nd on the day, 11th on the season.
Only 2 walks of the day for Anibal Sanchez have been to Colby Rasmus.
Brings up Tyler White, who is 0 for 2 today. Came to the plate with 2 aboard back in the 1st inning and eventually popped out foul territory to first base. Then struck out in the 3rd. And even the American League Player of the Week for week 1 of the season has tapered off a bit. With that taper, though, hitting .375.
Scuffling with that 1200 OPS.
And pops it up. On the right side, Kinsler comes on. And on the infield grass, lets it drop.
Can't do that.
Does the exchange where Colby Rasmus and his speed at the bag will be gone.
Infield fly, I'm assuming, has been called, correct?
No, you have to have at least a couple of runners for infield fly.
Wow, we got a battle of managers starting to go talk to the umpire. Ball skied. Watch the umpires. Nobody called, like Ash said.
Yeah, this is that intent rule, I think.
Yep.
Was there an intent to drop the ball?
I think we could go that far.
I think you might be able to say that. Usually he gets leather on it.
Either that or he's going to have early work tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah.
But they call Colby out.
So
on the force.
So apparently, with that roof and all, it's become a tougher play.
AJ's out to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's really heads up on the part of Ian Kinsler.
As far as base stealing is concerned, Colby's more of a threat than Tyler White. I got it. I got it. I got it. Psych. I'd much rather have the assist than the put out.
Probably shouldn't call it unless you know you've got it, though.
Miguel Cabrera looked at him and said, I could have caught it. It's a pretty good fielder's choice right there.
Yeah, so it leaves Tyler White at first base, 1 out for Evan Gattis. You know, if that ball had been 10 feet further back on the infield dirt, I'm going to guess that Kinsler would not have allowed it to drop. On the grass, it just sits there in front of you.
It's like an old-fashioned balata.
Oh, yes. Rubber bands just slipping
Stick.
out of the cut you put in it with the previous swing.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Alex Wilson now loosening in the Tigers' pen, along with Kyle Ryan. So they've got a righty and a lefty. Three balls and no strikes. Anibal Sanchez scuffling a bit here.
It's time for Oso Blanco to get a hold of one.
When's the last date that we've seen Mr. Gattis launch one?
Got to do this to me.
Takes a strike.
Let me go to my people.
You've got people, huh?
The same people you're working with. That's all we've got.
Good luck.
That was Ellen Ashby, ladies and gentlemen.
3-1 pitch.
September 28th in Seattle.
Very late in the schedule last year. Ooh, that was a tight, tough time for the club, and they had to win some games after really kind of struggling down the stretch. Ground ball finds the hole on the left side. Gattis has a knock. White stops at second base. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Luis Valbuena. You remember that series going to Seattle? They won 2 out of 3, and it was hard fought.
Yeah, it was a tough. They had a tough time scoring runs back then too. Yep. Yeah, just kind of grinding towards the end,
and then had to go on to Arizona, a good club, and took 2 out of 3 there.
That's a good old-fashioned seeing eye single.
Second hit on the season for Evan Gattis. Luis Valbuena still looking for that 4-bag hack that he had 25 times last year. Career high with those 25 homers last year. Previously 16, hit those with the Cubs in 2014.
Tell when guys are scuffling a little bit, they can't pull the trigger when they do get that fastball in the zone. That's typically a pitch right there that Luis Valbuena can drive. I'd like to see him shoot that left center field gap with Ghost shaded towards the right center field side.
As the season got started, left center field was kind of what it looked like
right.
Valbuena was shooting at.
You are right. I remember that.
Tied up here. But he does that well when he's when that becomes kind of his game.
Yeah, he really put emphasis on driving down through the baseball, going the other way, and did a really good job of it.
And it actually might serve him very well in that he can bump the batting average up a bit, get on base, and then when he gets that off-speed breaking ball, launch one.
Exactly. That's a very good approach.
2-2. So we head off to Arlington tomorrow. You head back to California, kind of rest up for the big West Coast swing.
Got to repack. I haven't unpacked from Augusta.
But now that's a shame.
I just thought I'd bring that up.
I really. The color of the Masters is green, and that's the same color with envy that I've been feeling the last couple of years that you've taken that in.
Got to go. It's incredible.
Swing and a miss, Valbuena. A big second out of the inning. Second time for Luis to strike out today.
Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices with MLB Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. MLB Premium now includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. And you can tweet Ash when you're asking about blackout restrictions. He's got all the knowledge on that.
Hey, don't push that stuff my way. That's all in your corner.
I don't have answers for that. It's out of my pay grade.
I think you do. Anibal Sanchez has 7 strikeouts on his afternoon, trailing 5-3. A couple of runners aboard now with 2 outs for Marwin Gonzalez, swinging it well. 2 for 2 on the day, a double and a single. We were asking about that last home run for Evan Gattis. Came in a win. 3-2 win up in Seattle.
Hit that bomb off Roenis Elias up there in Seattle.
Texas Rangers last year had the Astros number. And so I'm anxious to see this upcoming series.
It's going to be exciting. Kind of a renewed rivalry between Texas and Houston now.
I think it's become more legit now.
In the division, playing each other 19 times and vying for that Western pennant. Changes everything.
Got a couple of managers who kind of got after each other last year a bit. And I think there's intensity there that's pretty natural. Ball and a strike. With the 2 hits today, Marwin now hitting .235. Can change quickly. He started the day at 133. See, I've got the folks now on Twitter asking me for restrictions on blackout.
Hey, they're good listeners.
You know, something's got to be done about this.
You can forward that to Manfred, couldn't you?
The 1-2. It's amazing how people listen to you.
It is amazing, isn't it? There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll get right back to you, Tom.
Appreciate you, Mr. Dempster.
Very good. Again tomorrow off. Tuesday, Scott Feldman against Cole Hamels. 7:05 start in Arlington. In fact, all 3 games from Arlington start at 7:05. Hit foul down the left side. Doug Fister against A.J. Griffin in the second game. In the finale, Dallas Keuchel opposed by Martin Perez. The Astros will see their first 2 left-handed starters of the season. With today 13 starts, 13 right-handers have gone to the mound.
It's pretty incredible.
It is creeping right now. 2-2 the count.
This would be a big hit right here for the Astros.
That rotation for the Texas Rangers has changed now as we speak. They got rained out with the Baltimore Orioles today.
Oh boy.
Holland will pitch in that first game. And Cole Hamels goes in game 2. And A.J. Griffin in the third game. So the Astros will be, as we've mentioned, Scott Feldman, Doug Fister, and Dallas Keuchel. So Martin Perez, the lefty, the one guy the Astros will not see. And by the way, the Astros numbers against left-hand pitching this year are off the charts, hitting well over 400. And so I wonder if the skip up there in Arlington is aware of those numbers and adjusted, maybe in part because of that, or just to keep their guys in rotation.
Plenty of rest for Hamels and Holland. Wrong way. Guys are still going to that Ashby move.
Don't put that one on me. You can put this one on, though, as Marwin fouls it back. I said over 400. The Astros are hitting .353 against lefties, .229 against right-handers. And so, decidedly, for the Astros against the left-hand pitching right now, though they haven't seen a whole lot of it. The Astros have all of 34 official at-bats against left-hand pitching. They're 12 for 34. Here's one you can look at, though. 16 of the 17 home runs coming into play today, and you can add 2 more to it. Hit against right-hand pitching. Runners go. The pitch. Foul down the right side.
Marwin having a heck of an at-bat right here.
He's got that short, compact swing from the left side.
It really does. Kind of has that minimal load. Not too much motion before the pitch, but when it gets to that hitting zone, he is incredibly quick. Next pitch will be 31 in this inning.
And number 110 on the game for Anibal Sanchez. Runners go, and got him on strikes. That's 8 strikeouts for Sanchez as he leaves. Probably done with this afternoon. The Astros still lead it by 2.
always something you did wrong. So he's a very positive person, but he's also looking to get you better individually, and works with you with your stuff. He's not trying to change your mechanics or make you throw different pitches you're not used to, or put you in different situations where you're not comfortable with. So.
Mike Fiers with the Geico quote of the day, talking about his pitching coach, Strami, that he got to know when he was traded over to the Astros last offseason. You know, guys, I hear this from a lot of the pitchers, that Strami's always working with them on their strengths, not trying to change anything they do, because he does have his own philosophies and he does believe in them very much so, but he just works with guys on their strengths, and they all have great things to say about Strami.
Thank you, Julia. Mike Fiers out there for a 6th inning now, trying to probably pick up the bullpen to some extent here. And that's just pitch number 77 on the afternoon for Mike. Victor Martinez, JD Martinez, and Nick Castellanos, 4, 5, and 6.
He had a reasonable amount of rest that last half inning too.
Well, if he could kind of get through this inning with 3 or 4 hitters, he might be poised for another. Tony Sipp throwing in the pen for Houston. Also got a right-hander up now with him, Pat Neshek. Martinez fouls it down the left side.
I think it'd be a great thing if Fiers could get through this inning right here. Good for him, good for the bullpen. And if he puts up a goose egg, he'd actually qualify for a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs or less.
Good point. Tigers with 6 hits. The Astros have 8 on the day. Mike Fiers, since making his major league debut in 2011, he ranks 10th among all major league pitchers in strikeouts per 9 inning. No, he's really one of the big strikeout guys. Doesn't put up the same number of innings as some guys. He's on a list with the likes of Yu Darvish, Steven Strasburg, Chris Sale, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, Corey Kluber, and on with the big names.
Big names with jet fuel coming out of their right arms too. Fiers not one of those guys. Uses deception.
Matt Harvey's on that list, and imagine there are some questions about Matt Harvey right about now with the Mets.
0-3 start, not good. Roughed up in Cleveland too. Only went 5 2/3, I think.
Of course, Fiers, as you're talking about, that rare name on that list that doesn't throw hard. Fastball's under 90 miles an hour. Martinez jogs it down the line with that bad hamstring. Out number 1.
There you go. Who's hot, who's not? Arrieta pitching extremely good in Wrigley Field, getting off to a great start this season. Trevor Story, you've heard all about him, but those 2 guys on the right are probably the most shocking names. 0-3 for Matt Harvey, 0-2 for Zach Greinke.
I imagine we all did, that Greinke was going to have a bit of a rude awakening pitching in Arizona versus LA. But that is a little harsh. Good breaking ball on Miguel Cabrera. Excuse me, on JD Martinez. Martinez 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
Wow.
Did you have that good buddy you played against in the major leagues that you just kind of had to refocus on?
I didn't have any friends.
So nothing's changed then, huh?
Yep, same thing, different place. Now, there were plenty of teammates along the way that would give you a good ragging if they got you in a game.
The fastball can look like 99 miles an hour, and instead it's 89.
Gotta have a catcher with like a borderline brand new glove to give that good pop. Make it sound firm too.
Hit deep to right field. Back at the wall. It's a one-run game. Opposite field dinger J.D. Martinez, his second of the season. And it's now 5-4, the Astros lead.
Mike Fiers beat up on his buddy early. Struck him out in his first at bat. J.D. answers here with the home run. But a fastball up out over the plate. And again, Fiers pitches relatively well up in the zone, but not right here. J.D. Martinez did a good job of getting on top of that and driving it out the other way.
J.D. has become one of those guys who can go anywhere in the yard. One out, a run in. Nick Castellanos at the plate. Castellanos 0 for 2 on the day. Has a 2-0 count. Sip and Neshek continue to toil in the Astros pen. Castellanos hit a bit of a milestone in yesterday's game against the Astros. Scored his career 100th run.
Couldn't Biggio and Bagwell do that every year? The 100 runs.
What was the high? Do you happen to know the high water mark for Craig Biggio runs scored in the season?
I can look it up real quick.
You know, that was a stat that he talked about really caring most about. Tapper foul at the plate, fills the count.
1997, he led the league with 146 runs scored. But he had a whole lot of years of 100. Scored in 20 years. He scored 1,844 runs. Thank you, Mr. Bagwell.
Yeah, I'd like to see on the all-time list of runs scored where that slots. Off speed, got him swinging. Nice usage of the off-speed pitch. Second out, brings up Saltalamacchia. That's going to do it. As A.J. Hinch goes to the hill, asks for the baseball. And Tony Sipp, the left-hander, will jog it in from right center. One-run game. We'll be right back.
Auto Group. There you get a look at the score. Astros holding on to that one-run lead, 5-4. For the Tigers, Saltalamacchia has been a thorn in the Astros side. Second home run in the series. Ian Kinsler hit a 2-run bomb also in that 5th inning. And right now, JD Martinez made it a 1-run game with that solo bomb to right. But Altuve's been swinging the bat well, going to the opposite field. And George Springer, 5 for 7 in his last 2 games, having an impact on this ball game right here.
By the way, our good friends on Twitter notify us that Craig Biggio is 15th all-time in runs scored.
Well, you know who number 1 is.
Ricky, probably.
Ricky.
Yeah,
Ricky could score some runs
when he was being Ricky. Two outs, base is empty, a run in. Saltalamacchia, the switch hitter, turns around and bats right-handed after slugging a pair of home runs, batting from the left side here in the series. Fires 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned. No walks and 5 strikeouts, but 3 home runs. Saltalamacchia, Kinsler, and now JD Martinez. Two balls and a strike. Anthony Ghost waits on deck. Pat Neshek in the pen. And with tomorrow's off day, you can probably utilize extra arms if need be. I think it's hard for some people to understand how just the warming up aspect, let alone getting in games back to back, how tough it can be on an arm.
I completely agree. That is one thing that does not get talked about enough, is some of these relievers getting hot is not an easy thing to do, because they're getting hot to come into a game. And when they don't come into the game, they're still taxing that body and taxing that arm by throwing pitches in the bullpen.
Yeah, you might think that a guy loosens up by going about 3/4 and preparing himself. It's all the way. And it's prepared for pitch 1 to be everything you've got.
Yep.
Three-two count. Tigers have a couple of right-hand bats and a switch hitter on their bench. Got him swinging. Sip comes on, gets Saltalamacchia. Tigers put a run on the board with that solo home run by JD Martinez. 5-4 Astros.
5-4 Astros out in front of the Tigers, and the Astros and the Red Sox will face off in a 3-game series next weekend. And Friday the 22nd, I knew this video was coming, is also Friday Night Fireworks at Minute Maid Park. For tickets, visit astro.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Oh, that poor phone. JD Martinez made this a 1-run game with a homer off his good friend Mike Fiers. And then what was that? Did you guys see that?
He just Julia.
He did the Julia.
He Julia'd? Is that what we're calling it?
You're the one who started this whole dab business. Now he's doing it in spite of us.
Twitter's not happy about this.
So we talked before the game about how it's cool to do all those things now, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. It's a generation that needs to express things, and
I guess the dab is the way to express.
Well, Julia did yesterday, and everybody seemed to fully understand.
I'm not good with this, though.
Oh, you dish it out. You got to be able to take it.
I guess so. Well, the Astros lead at 5-4. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. New right-hander for the Tigers, Alex Wilson, 29 years of age, and former Texas A&M Aggie. This is Eric Kratz, who fouls it back, rather.
Oh, even with a broke arm.
Oh, yeah.
No,
oh, my gosh. Is his arm okay?
No, I'm calling Phantom DL on that kid.
Oh,
Seriously?
He's just going back and forth right there. Like a ticking clock. Kratz has an 0-2 count. Wilson played last year with these Tigers and pitched in 59 games, 2.19 ERA, so he pitched very well. Previous 2 years with the Boston Red Sox. Getting word that even 85-year-old fans are getting into the Julia thing and just enjoying the heck out of it.
I can't take credit.
This is great.
What do you mean you can't take credit?
It is a phenomenon.
The song came out a year ago.
Yeah, but you reinvigorated it.
Okay, I'll take credit for that. Sure.
See.
It was really Gomez.
Oh.
I'm just helping him out, getting the word out for him.
2 balls and 2 strikes. For those wondering, Bill Brown taking a few days off. He will rejoin the ball club starting Tuesday in Arlington against the Texas Rangers. Hit to center. But it carries too far. Gose is there, and out number 1. There we go, Julia.
Oh, yes. That's a good dab.
That's dab good.
It could be a sneeze, but we'll go with dab. Jake Marisnick comes to the plate. Jeff Blum is making it impossible to do a broadcast up here.
I can't do anything right.
I didn't say you were doing it wrong. I had nothing to do with that. Marisnick taps it foul.
Quit making me laugh. Dropped a Gonzoon tight on her dab. Regroup.
The Astros need a win, trying to take 2 out of 3 from Detroit. Had a 5-0 lead as Marisnick called out. Second out of the inning. That has turned into a 1-run game, and when it gets like that, we turn to Julia.
Thanks, guys. Looking at the Ford spray chart, Jose Altuve is always looking for ways to get better. Worked on staying upright. in his swing, not diving into the plate with that left foot like he's done in the past. So check out the first 2 years we saw him. He was spreading it all over, pulling. Saw him go to center 2014, 2015, which he put together 425 hits over those 2 years. Pulling the ball 10% more of the time. Going to right field only 19% of the time. In 2016, we've seen him go oppo taco twice already in the last week or so. Line drive percentages up for him. He's hitting up more up the middle as well. But Blemmer, I'm going to ask you, what are you seeing from the second baseman in his swing this year as opposed to maybe years past?
No, I agree with you. He's a little more upright, and when you stand upright, it creates a little bit more leverage driving down through the baseball. But I like the stance little alteration, and I also like the selectivity at home plate. It just goes to show you how good a hitter Altuve is to be able to continue to make these adjustments in order to get better and provide more offense for this club after, like you said, only 425 hits in the last couple years.
Improvement obviously needed.
But that's what makes him incredibly special, is that he's one of those guys that isn't content being as good as he is.
Let us remember 225 hits in a batting title 2 years ago. 56 stolen bases that year.
56.
All of that good for just 13th in the MVP voting. Down on strikes. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Wilson. A 1-2-3 frame. To the 7th we go. 5-4 Houston. Well on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the Jumbolicious Jumbo Meal before it's gone. Only at Jack in the Box. And we move on to the 7th inning here at Minute Maid Park. 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Anthony Gose, Jose Iglesias, and Ian Kinsler. Tony Sipp stays on to face the left-handed bat of Anthony Gose. Could be the last man he faces. Pat Neshek still heats in the bullpen. Infield drawn in on the corners, preempting any chance at the bunt. What a 2-0 count. Ghost taken all the way, has a 2-1 count.
That boy Tony, come on, Tony.
There have only been 2 walks in this game. Those issued by Anibal Sanchez. And yet the game has taken on a very deliberate pace. Fiers went 5 2/3, allowing 7 hits and 4 earned runs. Fiers struck out 5, allowing the 3 home runs. The Astros 2 home runs on the day. These Tigers with 3. And it's all in the hands of the bullpen now. Foul tip. And Kratz couldn't hang.
Do you ever get mad at yourself for not catching a foul tip like that?
Many times. There's nothing you
really
can do about it.
I was going to say, because it seems like it's such a game of chance.
I think there's an impression that catchers are either good or bad at catching foul tips. Has nothing to do with it. Either the ball goes in the pocket of the glove or it doesn't. And sometimes you'll get hit outside of the pocket to where you know it hits your glove, but you can't hang on to it, and it's frustrating. You know, they talk about nanoseconds. I think that's the amount of time between hitting bat and hitting glove. And not a lot of thinking goes on in nanoseconds. Ghost continues to battle. Still at 3-2.
We're talking about walks, Ash. The 2 walks in today's game. None by Astros pitching. In this series for Astros pitching, there have only been 2 walks.
That's good stuff.
That's really good stuff considering what was going on the road trip.
And yet the club is 1-1 in the series and battling now with the Tigers to try to pick up the series winner.
That boy, Tony. That boy.
You can hear the voice of Brent Strom. Well, he is constantly hollering and behind his pitchers. Tony Sipp tossed a scoreless inning Thursday night against Kansas City. Did allow 2 hits in that outing. Breaking ball, and Ghost stays alive.
Bring this battle, Tony. Come on.
Pretty good battle going on right here. Sipp throwing some tough pitches in this 3-2 count. Ghost spoiling them.
Since 2014, Tony Sipp is among a number of left-handed American League relievers that have done well in numerous categories, but he walks Anthony Ghost. So there's that first walk issued by Houston pitching. It's going to do it for Tony Sipp as A.J. Hinch comes out. As we will check in with Pat Neshek coming in from the bullpen. And we'll break away. Astros on top of the Tigers 5-4 here in the 7th inning.
where it's 5-4 Houston leading Detroit. And we have a winner in our Chevy Stroh poll. Let's take a look. Our question earlier, what is the best Astros achievement in the last 2 years? Dallas Keuchel takes this one, 53% with his home dominance, undefeated at home in 2015 regular season games. Got a streak going, I think 17 games though, if you go back. And then his performance the other day. Guys?
Thanks, Julia. Pat Neshek on to work it now. A man aboard as Tony Sipp leaves after issuing the walk to Anthony Gose. Jose Iglesias at the plate, swinging it well, has lined out and singled. Came around and scored the second run for the Tigers. That came in the 5th inning. As they've had to battle back, it was 5-0 Houston after 4 rather. Popped up on the right side. Altuve will likely and does call off White, and out number 1. Big first out of the inning. Top of the order now. Ian Kinsler comes to the plate. Kinsler 2 for 3 on the day. 3rd inning single, and then in the 5th inning he launched one to left field. His 4th dinger of the year. 2-run shot. Tigers had 3 runs at that point. Good breaking ball. Snap throw to first base. Just late.
Good throw from Kratz.
Right from the knees, and that's the way he likes to throw to second base as well.
Man, that was a seed.
Nice and quick.
Tyler White put himself in a good position to drop that tag on Gose also. Watch how quick this is. Wow.
The way Tyler White hung at the bag there makes me think that that was preset, that he knew it was coming his way.
Credit Anthony Gose to going to the outside part of the bag too.
Omar Vizquel, first base coach, might have had some input there to help his runner. Oh, and 1 the count on Kinsler. Rams one to left field. Rasmus with the play. Second out. Halfway was the runner. Gose. He scampers back to first. Kinsler continues to sting it, but a key second out as Justin Upton comes to the plate. Upton now hitting .245, 0 for 3 on his day. Has picked up a strikeout. That was a big one for Mike Fiers back in the 3rd inning. There had been a couple of hits in the inning. In fact, the first 2 hits of the game for the Tigers. But for that final out, Fiers able to strike out Upton. Upton went 1 for 4 in game 1 of this series. Hitless since. He was 0 for 5 in yesterday's game. And picked up 3 strikeouts yesterday. Drew Verhagen now loosening in the pen for the Tigers. Kyle Ryan also loosening with him. Again, the snap throw. And Tyler White just trying to make sure he keeps that ball in front.
What in the Humberto Quintero is going on back here?
Kratz seems to like to throw to the bases.
Those Astro fans that do remember Quintero, he was a throwing fool. You had to have your head on a swivel when he was behind home plate.
Don't know if we'll see a guy by the name of Alberto Gonzalez come to the big leagues with the Astros this year, or any time for that matter, but as good of a throwing arm as you ever want to see.
Yeah, that arm is becoming legendary.
Well, you're still yet to have your conversation with A.J. Hinch, but
I want to have it now.
I'll just finish by saying he was impressed.
Yeah. That's saying something. A couple of catchers like you and A.J. saying that this guy's got an absolute cannon.
Well, I picked it up. He wasn't even throwing to get a guy trying to steal or pick a guy off. It was a third strike, and he threw down to third base with the third baseman out at shortstop when a shift was on, and it was pure hemp. Third strike called, up and down on strike, second time on the day, and he argues it out real good with Rob Drake. That Neshek comes in and finishes things for the Tigers in the 7th inning. Astros continue to lead now as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 5-4, and we will hang around here as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning for God Bless America. But that argument at home plate continues to go on. Brad Ausmus comes out and tries to make sure that he maintains his left fielder.
Afternoon tradition here at Minute Maid Park. Ladies and gentlemen, now we kindly ask that you please rise and join us as we take pause to celebrate and salute our great nation and salute and thank those who protect our freedom around the world every day. Please join Devin Crandall as he leads us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
We are back. Astros leading 5-4 over the Detroit Tigers in the bottom of the 7th. It's time to check in and see how the Astros are playing to win. Brought to you by Toyota Tundra. George Springer, 5 hits in his last 7 at-bats, 2 home runs in the last 2 days. Talked about how he was scuffling a little bit coming in. trying to get himself right here at Minute Maid Park. Has the potential to be a driving force in this lineup for the Houston Astros.
Alex White on for a second inning as Springer takes that big hack and fouls it back. New left fielder now for the Tigers. Tyler Collins takes over as Justin Upton was run from the ball game after arguing with the home plate umpire. $30,657 on hand here today. Turned out to be a nice crowd.
Filled in nicely. A bunch of little leaguers cruising around the warning track before the game. Good day.
Springer, Rasmussen, White here in the inning. Pitch driven to center field. Ghost going back. Big part of the ballpark just in front of the warning track. And out number one. Back on Justin Upton and that last pitch that he disagreed with. Let's take our look.
I'm sure Justin thought that was elevated. You can see right at the top of the zone and disgust on Justin's bat flip here. It's been a rough 3 days here in Houston, and immediately for the bat flip you could see Rob Drake pointing at the throw of the bat is why he threw him out.
So the Tigers are going to say enough for Alex Wilson. Out to the mound, Brad Ausmus. He points to the bullpen. We'll be right back. Astros still on top.
It's time to name that Astro. Brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Here are your clues. Nickname was Goodwood. He was a pinch hitting specialist, and his best season was 1986. Tweet us your best guess. We will tell you who that Astro is later in the broadcast. Guys.
Nice, Julia. I think I know who that one is. I actually think, anyway.
Well, my initial thought after seeing the nickname Goodwood was Woody Williams. Can expect a text from Woody here pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't think he was a pinch hitting specialist, though, was he?
He would have loved to have been.
Left-hander Kyle Ryan comes on to pitch now for the Tigers, facing the left-handed bat of Colby Rasmus. Colby still earns the shift. Three infielders on the right side. Rasmus has walked twice today, in between struck out. That came in the third. For the Astros, Ken Giles gets it loose. For Kyle Ryan, third appearance on the season. Yet to allow a run, but 3 hits allowed in a couple of innings. Miggy feeds on to Ryan, second out of the inning. Tyler White comes to the plate. So it would appear that Tyler's going to get a shot at the left-hander here. Right-handed bats with a couple of hits in 1 2/3 innings against this lefty. Big swing and a drive to right, but not enough. JD Martinez is there, and that'll do it. A 1, 2, 3, 7th inning for Houston. To the 8th we go. 5-4. Astros on top.
Tigers here in the top of the 8th inning. We want you to join the Astros at Minute Maid Park on Saturday, April 23rd as they take on the Red Sox. 10,000 fans will receive a Carlos Correa replica white jersey presented by Waste Management. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Right-hander Ken Giles comes on to work it for the Astros. Appeared in 5 games already and has been roughed up. 3 home runs allowed, matching the total that he had allowed in his previous couple of years in the big leagues. Picked up a shutout inning last night. Faces Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and JD Martinez. So heart of the order for the Tigers here in the 8th. Giles works it from the stretch. That's an 0-2 count on Miggy.
Reach back on that one, 96 miles an hour. Early in the season now, Ken Giles is averaging 96.5 miles an hour on that fastball.
Stover throws one, 1-2 the count. Miggy hitless in 3 at bats this afternoon. It's been Fires, Sip, Neshek, and now Giles on the hill for the Astros. And got him. An 0 for 4 day with a strikeout now for Miguel Cabrera. And a big out number 1 in the 8th inning.
was just an absolute power slider from Ken Giles.
Justin Wilson loosens in the pen, left-hander for the Tigers.
Miguel Cabrera is human.
Watch him long enough, you might disagree.
I've seen enough to disagree with that comment too. He's an amazing hitter.
Victor Martinez. Switch hitter, 1 for 3. Slider in the dirt from Giles. Vimar hitting .276. Has launched a couple of home runs. Those as a pinch hitter earlier. 1-1 the count. The Astros struck quickly today. 2 runs in the first inning. Jose Altuve got the scoring started, leading off with a home run opposite field. George Springer scored on a wild pitch after following the Altuve home run with a single. George Springer hit a solo home run in the 3rd inning. And then 2 more runs coming in the 4th inning. Altuve, a big part of that one, as with 2 outs, he stroked a single into left field, driving in the pair.
One of the few base hits with runners in scoring position.
Well, they have been sparse at this point. There's no doubt about that. Slider got him. Couple of strikeouts for Giles. And this is exactly what Ken Giles was brought over to do. That big strikeout arm in the back end of the pen.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it is that clutch 2 RBI single from Jose Altuve, bringing home Marwin Gonzalez and the speedy Jake Marisnick. Some electricity happening earlier this afternoon.
JD Martinez at the plate. Put that 4th run on the board. And that came against his buddy Mike Fiers in the 6th inning. With 1 out, a solo opposite field home run. The Astros have out-hit him 8-7. Tigers lead in that home run category 3-2. But as Jeff Blum says, that key 2-out RBI, in fact 2 RBI hit by Altuve, huge in the game. Like to get that call. Ground ball to 3rd. Backhanded and then dropped by Valbuena. And JD Martinez will reach. It is an E5. Martinez reaches with 2 outs. Nick Castellanos comes to the plate.
Picked it clean. It was on the exchange where the issue happened.
Second error on the year for Valbuena. Line drive. Altuve whiffs on it as that maybe knuckleball went right on by. Throw coming to third base is not in time. So an error and a line drive that somehow eludes the glove of Altuve, and the Tigers have runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Nick Castellanos kind of has that uppercut to his swing, and I wonder, I think you're right, Ash, it either knuckleballed or there was a tremendous amount of topspin. Sometimes as an infielder, when you first react on the swing and the ball off the bat, you don't give it enough time to get there, and you can see Altuve jump prematurely.
A.J. Hinch out to the mound.
And this is just a regroup session right here. Ignore everything that's going on around you and focus on that hitter at home plate right now.
Now the Astros come in 4-8, and the wins are precious. And A.J. doesn't want to let anything go by unsaid.
Is it not amazing how the other teams in this homestand have taken advantage of some of the miscues of the Houston Astros? It's incredible to me.
At some point that has to stop, and I don't know that A.J. would bring anything up like that, but right now is where you get that big out. This is how you tell people you're a good team.
It's a good sign right there. Getting ahead early with that heater, 97 miles an hour.
No, you can do all the talk you want, agreeing with people that say, well, you're going to be a good club this year and all that sort of thing. Eventually you have to play. Ground ball right side. Altuve's there to a knee, and that'll do it. So Giles comes on, gets the big out in the inning after a couple of strikeouts early, preserving that 1-run lead.
Welcome back. Bottom of the 8th here. Astros lead the Tigers 5-4. And the fans have spoken. It's time to name that Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Nicknamed Goodwood, was a pinch hitting specialist. Had a really good season in '86. Twitter was all over this. Oh, is he Kevin Bass? Oh, this, a lot of confidence with Jason there. 100%. It is Denny Welling.
I never heard Denny called Goodwood, but he could flat hit. He was the Clemson Comet. Is a name that that he kind of carried around. Denny could flat swing it. He could play third base. Thought Harry Spillman might be a kind of one of the names on that one.
He was a fun hitting coach.
Evan Gattis leading off here in the Astros half of the 8th inning. Houston on top by a run. 0-2 the count on Gattis. Kyle Ryan, the left-hander, still on the mound for the Tigers. It's funny. you play with a guy, and I had never heard that Goodwood term on him. In the air, left center, and fairly deep, not enough. Collins, the new left fielder, over to make the play, out number 1. Played a little golf with Denny Walling through the years, and the one funny line that always stuck out was an off day, and Denny was heard to say in the middle of that off day while walking around the golf course, "I can't believe I'm walking on my off day." And of course that kind of really stuck with a number of us.
It's a minimal effort type guy,
but a massive hitter. I mean, he could really swing the bat. Luis Valbuena at the plate, 0 for 3 with an error today. Pretty tough angle by the left-hander. Marwin Gonzalez waits on deck. Long angular left-hander, steps a bit to that first base side and creates what I would think would be a really tough angle for the left-hand hitters.
Hence the reason both of us
sitting right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Well,
that's a given.
Yeah.
But while we attempted.
Not for you, but pitch.
Man.
Didn't look too bad from where I sit. Altuve and Correa teaming up to see.
That's going to be a combo you see for a long time.
Yeah, you bet. Counts filled. You know, it's a funny thing. Altuve has won a batting title, and he's had 2 consecutive years with 200 or more hits. And people will talk about the Astros, and his name won't come up sometimes. You know, and what a player he has become. Get on the ground left side and past the only infielder on that side, base hit. That is some pretty hitting by Valbuena.
He's going to prove to be one of the greats, I think.
Altuve.
Yeah.
Oh, I
know
agree.
He's overshadowed right there, but because you're looking at Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you not? 425 hits in 2 years, and then he's off to an electric start this year. His slugging percentage is far and away. You know, if he continues at this pace, it's going to be incredible. But
yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to turn into that guy who hits 20 home runs or more? He hit 15 last year.
Wasn't that what everybody said about Tony Gwynn? Tony Gwynn was one of those guys, just raked hits, but eventually told his good buddy Fred McGriff and said, well, I can hit home runs if I wanted to. Did Altuve tell George Springer or Carlos Correa, I can hit bombs?
Well, if he did, he's certainly right.
Yeah.
And we're seeing opposite field shots and bombs to left field. Drew Verhagen, the left-hander, has been summoned by Brad Ausmus and comes to the mound. We'll be right back in a 1-run game.
New pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, Drew Verhagen, making his 7th appearance on the season. Young man brings it about 94 miles an hour with a split finger curveball combination after that.
First pitch hit in the air to center field. Just about medium depth, maybe a little more. So that's handled as they get Marwin here in the 8th inning. He's 2 for 4 on the day, and Eric Kratz will come to the plate.
Your Houston Rockets take on the Golden State Warriors Monday night in Game 2 of their first-round playoff series. Coverage begins at 8:30 with a 1-hour Rockets pregame, followed by all the game action at 9:30. The Rockets pursue playoff victory Monday night at 8:30 right here on Root Sports.
2 outs. Valbuena with that base hit still at first base. And Eric Kratz at the plate, 0 for 3 on the day. Looking for that first knock of the season.
Scalded that one to center field last AB.
Caught a nice ball game today. Yeah, I don't think there are any questions about that defensive side for Kratz. Nine hits for Houston, 8 for the Tigers. An error apiece. But that important number, the Astros on top 5-4. I think Verhagen wanted that one. It's 3-1. A little under 31,000 on hand here this afternoon, starting to make some noise. Runner goes, pitch hit in the air to right field and deep. JD Martinez right in front of the track makes the catch, and that'll do it. So we go to the 9th inning. The Astros trying to hold on to a 5-4 lead.
Into this 5-4 lead, top of the 9th. Looking for games on certain days of the week with giveaways, big rivalries, or a little of each. The Astros 15-game flex plan lets you pick the games and seat locations that work best for you. Grab your 15-game flex plan today by visiting astros.com/mini-plans or calling 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thanks, Julia. Much of this crowd still on hand, waiting to see now as Luke Gregerson comes in to close it out. Gregerson has been very good in this role as a member of the Astros, has maintained the role. And now big assignment. The Astros trying to take this series 2 out of 3 from the Detroit Tigers.
Done a great job in that closing role for the Houston Astros. Saw a good number on him. Right-handers over Gregerson's career, hitting 194.
For the Tigers, 8-9-1. Anthony Ghost leads it off. Be followed by Jose Iglesias and Ian Kinsler. And you'd love to end it right there. Infield draws in on the corners, even shallowing up at short and second. As that first pitch swung and missed, and looked like Ghost might have had an idea of trying to drive one. Luke Gregerson last year just 48 hits allowed in 61 innings. So he was very tough against anybody who came to the plate.
Yeah, for a guy who didn't have that role normally, he really embraced it and ran with it.
31 saves. Ground ball hit to second. Altuve with a tough little in-between hop, able to make the play. And a big first out here in the ninth.
First out is a big out for any pitcher in an inning, but I think it's extremely large when that closer can come in and get that first out immediately and keep that leadoff man off the base pass.
When you know on a play like that with a guy that runs well going down the line that as a second baseman you can't quite cut off that little in-between hop, little fear enter the head?
Never.
Never? Okay. Altuve knew he had the play. 1 out. Jose Iglesias at the plate has a single into it in 3 at bats rather, and has scored a run.
The only thing with guys that can run a little bit down the first baseline is any hesitation leads to that guy being on base.
Oh, to the count. Gregerson gets right in front. Gregerson 5 years with the Padres, now in his 2nd with the Astros. Also mixed in a year with the Oakland A's. The 0-2. Slider got him. And 2 outs in the inning. Base is empty as you go to the top of the order with Ian Kinsler.
Some good sliders today. We know that Gregerson's not out there trying to trick you too often. He's got good sink on that fastball, 88 to 90 miles an hour, but that slider almost feels as if some guys, you could tell them it was coming and they still can't stay back on it.
10 strikeouts for Houston pitching. And now down to an out. Kinsler 2 for 4 on the day and hit a home run back in the 5th inning. Got a 2-run shot down the left field side. Two 2-0 the count. Crowd on their feet for the good part. Luke Gregerson on his career now in his 8th year in the big leagues has allowed only 379 hits and 485 innings as we speak. So got some great numbers in that regard. Hot shot on a hop to Altuve. Accurate throw, offline a bit, but White makes the play in the tag. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 ninth inning turned in by Luke Gregerson. And the Astros take the series 2 out of 3 from the Tigers as they win today's game 5-4. And all wins are big, but this one feels large now for this club.
Hopefully it gets that momentum going in the right place. First series win of the year for the Houston Astros as they enjoy that day off tomorrow. Traveling up to Dallas to take on those Texas Rangers.
The Astros known for the home run ball. They get a couple today. Altuve starts it back in the first inning, his 4th on the year. And again, opposite field job. George Springer is getting it hot with the bat. He launched one to left center field, and then there was that pitching side. Of course, we saw what Gregerson did in the 9th inning. Ken Giles came in for the 8th, and this is that back-to-back 8th and 9th inning combination that is now starting to look like it's paying off for the club.
Funny you talk about it, Ash. This pitching performance is powered by Kubota, and it is those two guys. The back end of that bullpen, Ken Giles coming over in that trade from Philadelphia to shore up the backside of that bullpen and give Gregerson some support. He's done a great job closing in the last couple years for the Houston Astros, but that power arm of Ken Giles will come in quite handy, just as it did this evening.
Ken Giles has that great stuff, and a guy who was expected maybe to be the closer, but right now, for the time being anyway, the 8th inning guy. And as long as Luke Gregerson keeps locking down the 9th inning, I can't see that changing at all, but that could be a lethal combination in the back end of the bullpen.
Well, and if Gregerson needs a day off, Giles can step right in.
Exactly.
It's nice luxury for A.J. Hinch to have 2 quality guys at the back end of that bullpen.
It's a 5-4 win, 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, as the Astros take a day off tomorrow and head on to Arlington, 3 with the Texas Rangers.